Guess nights don't just arrive. They seep into you, slow and steady. The way water sneaks into cracks in stone. There are whispers in the pauses, echoes you can't quite place. A shuffle that could be footsteps. A hum that doesn't belong to any machine, aside from the walls themselves. The first time I worked the graveyard shift, I thought I'd struck gold. Easy money, they promised. Sit at the desk, choke down bitter coffee, maybe flip through a battered paperback. My buddy Tom clapped me on the back, grinning. Boredom's your only enemy, I laughed, smug, thinking boredom was child's play. What harm could possibly creep into a dead office building at 2 a.m? But boredom, I soon learned, isn't empty. It's a shapeshifter. Sometimes it rolls in like heavy fog, softening your edges, blurring your thoughts until your eyelids beg for rest. Other times it sharpens into a knife, nicking at your nerves, making your skin crawl like someone's eyes are glued to the back of your neck. That's when he came. The building itself was bland by day. A gray concrete box with flickering fluorescent lights, and a soda machine that whined like a dying insect. Nothing about it deserved notice. But at night, it changed. The place had moods. The hallways muttered in low tones. The walls creaked and stretched as though shaking off their daytime mask. I sat at my little desk, sipping instant coffee that tasted like wet cardboard, and the silence grew teeth. Small noises drifted out of nowhere. The faint crackle of plastic wrap, a low electric hum that didn't match any machine. I'd snap my head around, heart hammering, but the shadows were always empty. I tried to laugh it off, though the sound never convinced even me. Then the front door opened, smooth and slow, and he walked in. He didn't seem threatening at first, just exhausted. His jacket sagged off him like it belonged to someone larger, shoulders damp though the sky outside was cloudless. His hair was pressed flat in patches, as if he'd been napping in a stiff chair for hours. He moved quietly, too quietly, too quietly. Most late-night arrivals made noise, dragging suitcases, muttering curses, or grumbling about a fight they'd had. Not him. He just stood there, still as stone. His eyes didn't land on me, but drifted through me, as though I were transparent, a window pane. It felt like he was reading the air, scanning something I couldn't see. Need a room? My voice cracked as I asked, trying to sound casual while my stomach somersaulted. He tilted his head, slow and deliberate, like a cat catching a noise you missed. A faint smile curled on his lips, private, knowing, as if he'd just recalled a joke that wasn't meant for me. He accepted the keycard with a feather-light touch, brushing it as though it was something valuable, and drifted down the hall. No chatter, no rush, just gone. I exhaled without realizing I'd been holding my breath, convinced that was the end. But 20 minutes later, I looked up, and there he was again. He sat slouched in the lobby armchair, directly facing the dead TV. The screen stayed black. He didn't reach for the remote, didn't fidget, didn't even blink too often. He just watched, as if the blank glass revealed something vast and secret. I pretended to busy myself with the logbook, stealing glances. An hour passed. Then, another. Then, another. He never shifted, never scratched an itch, never sighed. The air thickened around him. It pressed down, heavy as wet sand. My untouched coffee cooled to mud. At first, I made excuses. Maybe he was homeless, maybe drunk, maybe lonely. But one by one, those explanations crumbled. The guest ledger. His name vanished. I'd written it. Messy scrawl, John something. But the page sat blank. The keycard system, no record of his check-in. The cameras, worse. I pulled up the footage, bracing for his face. Instead, I found only a blur, a tall smear shaped like a man. Once, you could call it a glitch. Twice, maybe coincidence. But over and over, my brain whispered, something's not right. He began showing up where he shouldn't. One moment he lingered by the stairwell. The next, he sat in the lobby again, though no camera ever caught him moving. Once I caught him outside a guest door on the 3rd floor. He didn't knock, didn't touch the handle, just stared at the brass number plate, eyes locked like it hid an answer. Then he turned, molasses slow, and shuffled away. There's a guest. He's here, but he's not in the system. I'm looking at him right now. My manager sighed, bored, like I'd reported a paper jam. Keep an eye on him. Call if it's a real problem. A real problem? This wasn't a vending machine eating quarters. This was the ground, shifting under my feet. Soon the cameras got stranger. Rewinding the tapes showed flashes of places that weren't our building. Hallways cracked and crumbling, ceiling bulbs twitching like sick eyes. The images lasted seconds before snapping back. I told myself it was a malfunction, but cameras don't lie. Maybe they just don't show you everything. Around 3 a.m., he changed. The stillness in him sharpened, every tilt of his head jerky, inhuman, like he was tuning into a signal I couldn't hear. He walked toward me, each slow step pressing tighter against my ribs, leaning close enough that I caught the scent. Damp soil. Like earth freshly dug, he whispered. Voice soft and old. Do you ever wake up and find the furniture's been rearranged? I froze. My mouth went dry. The words didn't just sound strange. They felt wrong, like he'd pulled them straight from my own half-buried thoughts. I muttered something, anything. He only smiled that same private smile and drifted away. Then came the gifts. A Polaroid of me on my smoke break. Street lamp light, cutting my face in half. Though I'd never seen a camera. A glass on the lobby table. A single fingerprint pressed deep in the center. A smooth river rock propped against the back door, holding it closed. Harmless objects each. But together they were a puzzle I did not want to solve. I finally called the cops when I saw him flipping through the brochure rack. His fingers lingered on pamphlets for hotels I'd never heard of. The Lantern Rest. Eden's End. The squad car pulled up, lights splashing across the lobby. Relief surged, until the officers stepped inside. He was gone. No trace but the Polaroid, the stone, and a faint scuff on the floor. The cops gave me that look, the one people save for the unraveling, and left. After that, the building felt emptied out, like something essential had been scooped away. Like something essential had been scooped away. The silence wasn't peaceful anymore. It was stretched tight, brittle, waiting to snap. The counter bell rang sometimes. Sudden and sharp, though no hand touched it. Each ding made me freeze, eyes locked on the logbook, refusing to look up. I lasted another week. Then I quit. Not fired, just done. The sense of safety had been carved out of me, and no paycheck could patch it back. I moved to a brighter town, took a day job in a bustling office where the worst danger is paper cuts and passive-aggressive emails. Life should have gone back to normal, but nights like that cling. They seep into your bones. Every now and then I catch the echo of it, in the flicker of a blank TV, in a stranger's pause before saying my name, in the hum of a car idling too long in an empty lot. And sometimes when the world goes too still, I hear it. That dry metallic ding of the counter bell, clear as if it rang inches from my ear. That's when I know. If I ever take another graveyard shift, he'll be waiting, sitting in some shadowed corner, patient as stone, staring at nothing, until I finally look up and whisper, "Yeah. See you."